So let me just jump in, because I've been wanting to get a deeper understanding myself of the specific distinctions between these three aspects. So if I'm having an experience of catalyzed by whatever means, whether it's by practice or a conversation we've had about higher things or a moment in nature or a sunset, but if I'm having an experience of just kind of overwhelming awe and just amazement and depth, but in the face of the mystery of existence and this profound kind of the glory and mystery of what is, and this extraordinary divine reality that we're partaking in. That's third person. That's the third face of spirit.
Well, it is if you are contemplating it. If you are a subject and your contemplation is object to your experience,
right,
then
right.
And it is exactly as you described it. That's third person spirituality.
Right. As distinct from, say, first person, which many of us are familiar with, this kind of I am that experience.
That's right.
Where I'm aware of my divinity. Say a little more about that, because of course some people who are on the theistic side will always say, "Oh, that's a kind of terrifying narcissism, spiritual narcissism." But obviously, it's much deeper than that, and many traditions hold that as the ultimate realization. So, take us into that.
First-person spirituality has really been critical to the resurgence of spirituality in recent years. This whole conversation is being had because all the world's traditions became available to us at one time, and we could, and people, mainly Westerners, took up Eastern paths and then had a generation of experience with them. And out of that, we could begin to compare our experience. And it was our discovery that the space in which experience arises, the consciousness that is the witness of the witness, the most radical, bare bones screen on which all our mental, physical, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory experience is projected. That one is more truly who we are than any of the content, than any of the emotions and impulses and ideas and the things we identify with. That the bare experiencer is more me than any of the rest. And in deep meditation, I arrive more profoundly in that bare consciousness until people can have that radical experience in which they really know themselves not to be separate from anything. Right. And they stand in that subjective source of all experience as the very capital S self of all. And that non-dual realization, that awareness arrived at that way, has been the key breakthrough. And it's been done through first-person spiritual practices. First-person spiritual practices have been the most permeable ways for people to break through to an aperspectival, radical experience in which observer and observed are not different. So it's very, very important to respect and honor first-person spirituality. It has been the form of spiritual practice through Buddhist, Hindu, and then many of the current popular teachers like Eckhart Tolle or Byron Katie are expressions of primarily first-person approaches to spirituality. And all of them in their fulfillment break beyond the limits of a first-person fixation. You see, we're rational people. Our creation myth is the Big Bang. We were probably kids, much too young to understand what it meant when we were first exposed to the equation E equals mc squared. But E equals mc squared means that all there is light. It means that all this matter is a bunch of incredibly concentrated, petrified light, that this whole universe, vast beyond imagining, is nothing but light. That is very easy to resolve with an intuitive, meditative experience of non-separation from all things, of being the subjective non-separate experiencer who is not divided from experience. So first-person spirituality and the non-dual understanding of things has been, I think, the key passage for us to understand all our forms of spirituality in a more radical and adequate transrational context. And I'm a, as you can obviously tell, an enthusiastic appreciator of first-person spirituality.